Just as wrong, our next guest says it's likely. So joining us now to discuss is a senior research fellow for the Center for Education Policy at the Heritage Foundation, Jay Greene. Thanks for being here tonight, Jay.
Thanks for having me on.
Great. So talk to me about the findings of this study called the School to Prison Pipeline, and where do you think some of the confusion about it lies?
Sure. So a group of economists have done a study looking at whether students in Charlotte-Mecklenburg who went to a school that had a higher rate of suspension were more likely to end up in prison much later in life. And they found that, in fact, they did. But the problem with this is that students who go to schools with a lot of suspensions also go to schools that have a lot of problems. And it could well be that those problems are the cause of their later prison and not the discipline itself. In fact, the discipline may very well be helping reduce the number of problems those kids have.
Because when I was reading actually your article, I believe it was published at the Daily Signal, it reminded me, unfortunately, of the Parkland school shooter that we saw. He was someone who was in trouble all the time with his schools, but they didn't want to take any too drastic measures against him because of the similar idea when it comes to discipline. And that, oh, we can't discipline too harshly. And unfortunately, I know that was an extreme case, but look what happened, unfortunately, there. But do you think this wrong-headedness when it comes to discipline in schools, that it's really paving the way for more of the feds now to keep getting involved with what should be local decisions about how schools are run?
I think that's exactly it. During the Obama administration, there was something called a Dear Colleague letter that they sent to schools, basically trying to scare them away from disciplining their students for fear of getting in trouble with the federal government. And it looks like the Biden administration is seeking to do something very similar, and very likely they're going to be invoking this study, which is a flawed study, to support their actions. But in truth, the best people to decide how to discipline kids are the people who are closest to those kids. They know the situation best, and they know what form of discipline would be most beneficial to those students.
So we see schools lacking on discipline, and I would know when I was in public education myself, I saw it. Unfortunately, my high school in my area, it was kind of known as one of the bad ones. I know that objectively it wasn't, but I guess just locally that's how people knew it. A lot of the other bad eggs, kids who got kicked out of their own schools, they came to my school, and I just saw the problems that happened there. I remember one time we had a drug bust. I remember coming out of the bathroom, going back to my classroom in the hallways, kids up against the wall everywhere being arrested for having drugs on them. It's absolutely crazy. So we need stronger discipline, and we need, judicious decision making when it comes to discipline. But also in the schools, we're seeing CRT being pushed. We see even schools now getting rid of proficiency standards when it comes to math and reading and writing. When you see all of this taken in its totality, and parents come to you and they may be concerned about their own children's well-being when it comes to public education, what do you think they should be doing? Do you think maybe we should see more parents attending these school board meetings? Should we push harder for school choice? What are some of your thoughts?
I think those are exactly the right kinds of solutions for people to be pursuing. In general, we want communities to be able to control their own schools, and for parents to be able to control the type of education, the values, the discipline, and the content that their children will receive. And the problem that we're seeing over many years now is an increasing centralization over education policy. And it's a very bad idea to run schools from Washington, D.C. It's best run closer to the kids, where they understand the needs and the situation better and can make better choices about discipline and curriculum.
Jay, thank you so much for dropping by tonight.
Sure thing.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.